Thanks so much for joining me for this episode of the Before She Failed podcast. Are you feeling lost when it comes to the direction of maybe your career or your business, or more importantly, your calling and purpose in life? I've been there and I'm actually in a season where I'm there right now with all transparency. And I'm going to be showing you in today's episode exactly what I'm doing in this season. We're going to be going through all the steps. So if you are feeling just maybe restless in life, or you are feeling like there's got to be more to life than what you are currently experiencing, and you just have something within you that's saying there's more to life, there's more, I'm called to do more, there's something else out there for me, and you are not at peace, or maybe you feel stuck, then this episode is for you. And I'm excited that you heard. So let's get into today's episode. Number one, if you are feeling lost and you're just feeling lost in the season, the number one thing you need to be doing is seeking God about this. If I'm being 100% honest, I have not done the best job of this in the last few years. I have been a Christian for about 12 years now, since I rededicated my life to Christ. And I'm just being honest. I have had different seasons where I really, really seek God. And for example, when I was going to launch this podcast, I was seeking God very diligently, asking God, what do you want me to do with the giftings, my background, my talents, all those things. And I really felt strongly that He told me to launch this podcast, which I did back in 2021. And, it launched in the top 50 of Apple Podcasts when it launched in the business and entrepreneurship category. And it's just been such a blessing. It's been such a joy. But if I'm gonna be honest, over the last few years, with having one young child and then having another young child and just everything with the day-to-day of life, I have not been the best about really seeking God every single day and just asking Him what He wants for me in this season. And things have started to feel in various seasons a little bit mundane, a little bit like, what am I doing? I've tried different things that haven't necessarily panned out. But I'm so excited that I get to really dive into this with you guys and really with you and really see, this is going to be, you guys are going to watch me as I walk through this. So I'm just sharing what I'm doing with in this season. And one of the things, like I said, that I'm going to start doing, which I said I haven't been the best about, is, I would read the word, but it would be maybe 1 or 2 minutes. It's a little devotional, which is great. If that's where you are, that's great. That's a good start. But what I'm going to be doing this season is I'm really going to be uh, seeking the word daily, like 100% diving into this word. And it's something that I've kind of struggled with, and I've never really, I would never find the time, I would never find the interest and all the things. And I've really been asking God to just really give me a hunger for it. And so I have just a hunger for it, and I'm diving into this because I am gotten to a point where I'm just desperate to know what God has for me. And if you are in the same boat, I recommend that you do the same. Why? Because if you are not doing this daily, you are not getting the daily download that God has for you, right? He has a special download to give you every single day on directions and next steps and all that. And I know life happens. Believe me, I am the queen of having 100% my time sucked into different things, different responsibilities. But now I'm committing to this, and we're going to see where this goes. But I'm really 100% believing this because why? Because we each have a purpose, a unique purpose and calling on our lives, right? The very fact that you were born means that you have a unique purpose and calling on your lives. Did you know that there's only a 1 in a 400 trillion chance that you would be born? I know it sounds crazy. People have babies every single day, and it sounds like no, that can't be right, but that's the case. Like it has been proven that the odds of you being born is that, right? And maybe you weren't born into the best circumstances. I hear you, right? And maybe you were not born into ideal circumstances. My parents were actually not married. They were barely dating when my mom got pregnant with me, and I did not have my father in my life growing up. So I was also not born into the best of circumstances, if you will. But the Bible does talk about how God chose me, right? He chose you. He chooses us, right? So the very fact, if you are on this planet, if you are on earth, if you are alive, if you are breathing, that means there's a unique purpose and a unique calling on your life, and that God chose you, right? There's a scripture that really speaks to me about this, right? Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I consecrated you. That means that before you were knit together, there's another verse in the Bible about I knit you together in your mother's womb. So even before that, God chose you. God chose you to be born. The fact that you were born in a 1 in a 400 trillion chance, that you would be here on this earth means that there's a unique calling on your life. There's a unique purpose on your life, right? And so even if you don't have the best of circumstances in your family life, in any area of your life, even if you are dealing with a lot of insecurity, a lot of limiting beliefs, you didn't grow up in the best of circumstances, whatever that is, or maybe just adult life has not been easy for you and you just don't feel great about yourself, just know that there's a unique purpose and a unique calling on your life, right? And the first thing that I get from that verse of you were, before I formed you, before I formed you in your womb, in your mother's womb, I knew you. What I get from that is that you have a God-given purpose, right? Like I just said, otherwise you would have not been chosen to be born, right? There's the chances are so slim. So that means that there's a purpose on your life. The second thing that says to me from that one verse is that number two is that you are unique and have a special gifting and a special calling for this generation, for this time. So just know that whatever your day to day looks like, if you are working a 9 to 5 that you hate, if you are, feeling really stuck in the season of life that you're in, just know that there's a special gifting on your life. There's a special purpose. There's a unique calling on your life. And that is true for every single person. So you are not X'd out of that list. You are 100% on that list. Number three is that if you are feeling restless, feeling like there's more to life, then wouldn't it make sense to ask the creator that created you about this? If there is a purpose on your life, wouldn't it make sense and you feel like there's more like to your calling, to the purpose, to, maybe a lot of times people equate that to your career or business because a lot of times people will walk hand in hand with both their career and, their businesses with the unique calling on their lives. A lot of times that goes hand in hand. And so if you're feeling lost, wouldn't it make sense to ask your creator about this? He knows you. He's the one that created you, right? It's like the user manual. He's the only person that has user manual to your life. And so anyways, that's the first thing that I would recommend, seeking God, so I encourage you to do this very same thing. Ask God. I would say cry out to him. That's what I am doing in the season, to be 100% honest. There's tears, there's all the things, but I am so desperate to just know what God is asking me to do, what he has equipped me to do, on this earth, what my purpose is, my calling is. And if you are feeling restless and you're feeling the same, I encourage you to do the same. Ask him to speak to you, to guide you, right? He knows you better than anyone. The other thing in his plans are, way better than his plans, right? That's another point, right? So Ephesians 3:20, which is a very popular verse that I really love. It says that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can think, ask, or imagine. That verse is just so beautiful if you think about it. Like imagine that, like whatever your plans are, his plans are so much better for your life. Even if it looks like, oh my gosh, he's punishing you right now, you're going through a wilderness season, you're going through a hard season, whatever that looks like, even if you have to go through kind of some hard seasons, just know that on the other side of that, God is going to bless you more than you can think, ask, or imagine, right? And it's true. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in the life of so many people where I just see how they surrender their lives to God. And I just see how God blesses that so beautifully in such a beautiful way where I'm like, I'm like baffled by it. I think it's so beautiful. And just know that he wants to bless you, right? More than you imagine, but he requires us to seek him, right? We have to seek him. And then number two, the second point is we have to surrender to what he says, right? Maybe, and what does that mean to surrender to what God says? I know a lot of this stuff, maybe if you are, not so active in your faith, or maybe if you are maybe new to this thing, or you don't even know what this thing is, that all these words sound funny, but surrendering to God really just means being open to whatever he says to you, right? So God can speak to us in a lot of different ways. He can speak to us through circumstances in our life. Like we see different things going on around us and we can feel or have an impression that God is speaking us through that or through an impression, right? Sometimes you will hear a song, you will hear, you'll be at church and the word will be spoken and you'll just know that the Holy Spirit will be speaking to you, or you'll just know, right, in your heart what you're supposed to do or what God's trying to tell you. Or it can be in prayer. You're in prayer and all of a sudden you get an idea and it just comes to you and you're like, wow, this is what God is trying to say to me. Or it can be, through reading the word. You're reading the word and a verse, it jumps out to you and speaks to you for whatever your circumstance is for that day or for that moment, and just speaks to you, right? Because the word is alive, right? Another way that God speaks to you is through other people. Maybe you go on a coffee date and the person has the answer, they will speak to you in just the way that you know that God used that person to speak to you, right? So there's a lot of different ways that God will speak to us, right? But seeking and surrendering, what does surrendering mean? Really means that once God speaks to you, you're really surrendering it to God. Like sometimes before he'll speak to you, you have to surrender, be like, God, I don't know what to do with my life. I've tried all the things. I've tried this business project. I've tried this career path. I've tried this. I've tried that in whatever area of your life, and you just feel that you don't know what you're doing, then it's time to surrender it. I honestly, that's part of the journey. You have to surrender it to God in order to get really the confirmation and the direction and be really clear minded. And what does that mean? Sometimes you may be trying to do a business that's not the business that God wants you to do, right? So then you are surrendering it. By surrendering, you're saying, God, I want to do this type of business, but if you don't want me to do this type of business, then I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do, God. So you are literally surrendering your wishes, your desires, your preferences to God, right? That could look like wanting a career so badly, but God telling you, no, that's not the career for you. And just being okay with it and being like, okay, God, this is what I think I want. This is what I think is best. Or this could look like a relationship. It could be a romantic relationship where you're like, I want to marry this person so badly, but God's like, no, that's not the person for you. And it's really being obedient, being like, okay, God, if this is not what you want for me, I'm gonna walk away from this thing, even if it's painful, even if it sucks in the moment, even if I lose money, even if I lose friends, even whatever that looks like, but really surrendering that thing to God and just being like, God, really trusting that his ways are higher than your ways and he is in control, right? So that is the second step, right? Seek him in worship, seek him in prayer. And then once you get a word from him, usually after you surrender your plans, he will speak to you. Like I said, through impressions, through a person, he'll speak through all these different ways. And then the way that you'll really confirm it is if you have peace in your heart. If you have peace about what that person said to you, about a business idea after you've already prayed and surrender your desires to God, then that is pretty much confirmation that you should move forward with this, right? So seeking God and surrendering, and then you will get the confirmation and you'll know because you'll have peace in your heart about moving forward. It won't feel like a conflict in your heart. It won't feel complicated. It'll just feel peaceful, right? And so number 3 is then it's time to seek out the right community to get the right people around you. This is so important because you can be in the wrong community and it can completely squash a God dream. It can completely squash your purpose, your calling. It can hinder you. It can set you back years. It can do the worst for you, right? It can make you insecure. It can something that God wants to do in your life. Maybe the people around you don't see it. And so that it's the idea suffocated and never comes to life because it was supposed to, but you didn't have the right voices around you and you allowed other people's voices in, right? So it's really important that you get the right community around you. To be honest with you, I've done this in my personal life. Like I have a great community. Obviously, like I love my family, my friends, I have a great community when it comes to my personal life, but I have not done this when it comes to business or when it comes to my career, if you will. To be honest, I've been a part-time solopreneur with this podcast for about 3.5 years. And most of the time it's just me being stuck in my ideas, creating content, being really passionate about this, trying to help you guys, but not really getting that feedback or the community that I need in order to keep moving forward. And so what am I doing about this in this season? I am going to start seeking out community with like-minded people, being in different groups, whether it is for podcasters or whether it is for business, women entrepreneurs or Christian women or whatever that looks like. I'm going to start getting into different communities because it's really important to be around community. And what does it look like on a practical scale for She Failed? What I'm going to be doing is that in the month of September, I am putting action to my words and I am going to be creating an accountability club for a meeting for September. So if you are listening to this, you're watching this is really resonating with you and you need community, you have maybe an idea, a God idea, or you have a thought and you're like, I think this is a God thing, but I don't know how to move forward. I'm really stuck. I know God gave me that word, but like, how do I move in on this? And you need accountability and you need like-minded women and like-minded people that are going to encourage you and pray with you and all the things. Then I encourage you to go to the show notes and sign up, take the survey. All you have to do is take a clip where it says Accountability Club, September Accountability Club, take the survey. And once you're in there, all you're going to do is you're going to be enlisted into our email list. I'm going to send you an email with the information for the Zoom call. It's going to be a 1-hour Zoom call. It's taking place in September. And what it is really just an accountability club, right? I know that I do so much better when I'm in a community, when I speak about my problems, when I have a sounding board of people to say, hey, this is what's going on with me. And someone comes up with an idea, someone else has this idea, someone has this insight, and they really pour into me. And I leave feeling on 100 when I felt depleted when I walked in. And that's what I want for all of you, right? So this is going to be a great call. I'm going to be on the call. Obviously, I'm hosting the call. So it's going to be a moment where all of us will be able to speak and speak about what we're going through, what ideas we have in our heart, and what we want to do to move forward, where we're feeling stuck. And then it's going to be really a room that's open to all of us. So the other women will be able to speak to it, to encourage you. It can be you can be as involved as you want, or maybe you just want to listen. That's okay too. So if you are interested, please go to the show notes and sign up. Go click to the link. You're going to fill out a survey. It's going to have a few questions on there. And then from there, you'll be informed when the call happens in September. But I'm really excited about this. I think this could be a really great opportunity. Obviously, selfishly for me, because I'm going to be excited to see you guys and just be in community with you guys. But also, I think it's going to be so, so great for you guys to meet with other like minded women that are running the race and are walking in their calling or trying to walk in their calling, right? And I'm just so excited for this. So make sure to go to the show notes. If you are interested, click on that link, the accountability club. I keep stumbling on that, and sign up so that you can be informed when that happens. So that is number 3. Get into the right community. It's so crucial. Number 4 is, now that you've done all the things, is take action. Take action, even if it's the tiniest little action, even if it's joining that accountability club and that's all you did, that's okay. Even if it's just praying, saying a prayer right now, whatever the little action looks like, start taking action. Why? Because the more confidence is tricky, right? You're probably, one of the reasons you're probably not taking action is because you're probably not confident. And why are you not confident? Because you're not taking action. So it's this like slippery slope that if you don't do one, you're never going to get to the other. And the reality is confidence comes through action. So you have to start taking action in order to start becoming confident in the calling, the special gifting that's on your life, right? And besides that, the more you keep promises to yourself, the more confident you become, right? So if this is something that's important to you, but you feel so stuck, start taking a little action, because it's going to get you out of the slump. It's going to get you feeling good, because you're going to start taking promises to yourself seriously. And then you're going to become more confident in the woman that you're called to be, the person that you're called to be, right? If any men are watching, the person that you're called to be. But it's really going to help you be confident in who you are, right? So it's really important that you start taking action. And it's really important because your vision, your dream, the calling in your life, it's not just about your family. It's not just about your friends. It's not just about, the immediate people around you. Your dream, I'm 99% sure God dreams are always bigger than we imagine. Like it said earlier, like that one verse Ephesians said, right? It's exceedingly abundantly above anything we can ask or imagine. It's supposed to impact a lot of people. Whatever that purpose is, the calling on your life in this season, it's supposed to impact a lot more people than you can even think, ask, or imagine. And by you not doing that, you're not being a good steward. So if you are not taking action on this, it's not only that you're feeling stuck and you're feeling sad and you're not walking your purpose and your life is going to be smaller than what you were made for, but it's that other people will miss out on the blessing that is you, on the unique calling and gifting on your life, right? And so this reminds me of even that, the parable in Matthew 25:14 through 30, which is the parable of the talents, right? Where the master gives varying gifts of money or talents to his servants before going, and the lazy one, as the wicked one, is that's what he's called out. He's the one that basically he didn't multiply it, right? Everyone, I'm trying to like summarize it, but basically he gives a certain amount of talents. So I don't read off the screen. He gives a certain amount of talents to one person, to another, and then to another. And then he comes back, and then one guy multiplied it by a lot. The other servant multiplied it by a little. And then the other one didn't multiply it, he hid it. And what does that look like when it comes to today's age? It looks like you have special gifting and talents on your life, and God is asking you, he gave those to you, and he wants you to use them for the good. He wants you to be a good steward of them. So by you not stewarding the gifting, the calling on your life, the unique, beautiful calling on your life, it's not only a disservice to you, to the other people, it's also a disservice to God. So we don't want to do that, right? He's entrusting you with so many beautiful things. He has such a beautiful future for you. So if you are feeling lost in your calling, feeling lost in your career or business or calling or purpose, I encourage you to do these steps, right? Do it with me, right? I'm about to start a devotional, a 31-day devotional. I can link that in the show notes response as well. But I'm just really excited. So I want to hear from you. Let me know, is there a step that I missed? Is there something that maybe that you go through these steps? If there something that was really a game changer for you, I would love to hear from you. If you are on YouTube, please leave it in the comments below. If you are on listening on audio, then please go to Instagram page and send me a DM, or whoever wants to send me a DM on the Instagram, the But For Sheffield Instagram. I would love to hear from you on this. So there you have it. That is, if you are feeling lost in your career, business, or calling and purpose, me too. Here's what I'm doing about it. I hope this bless you.